Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a new video. So then in this one, I want to share with you a brand new product research strategy that you probably haven't seen before. And it's going to be kind of like flipping the whole process on its head. So when you watch other product research strategies on YouTube, most of them, if not all of them, focus on the actual product itself, which it works and it can be a good thing. However, speaking to a lot of people on Instagram, it leads people to become a bit narrow-minded and just have tunnel vision where they're completely focused solely just on the product, whereas you need to be taking into consideration the actual market and the audience in which you're going to be advertising to. So for example, it doesn't matter how good the actual product is that you find, it doesn't matter if it does miracles. If you can't find or target the audience on Facebook, if there isn't a market for the product, then of course you're not going to sell any of those products. So you need to be taking into consideration the actual market the product is going to fit as well. So the best type of products then that work well using Facebook ads are what I call passion products. So these are products that you sell to a passionate audience. So something to do with the dog, something to do with cycling, something to do with golf, something to do with a subject in which people are passionate about. When it comes to Facebook marketing, then we're advertising on a platform where people aren't looking to buy anything. So unless they're seriously passionate and interested in your product, then they're not going to click on it and they're certainly not going to buy it. So that is why you need to be selling what I like to call passion products. So in this video then, we're going to jump into my computer. I'm going to take you inside the Audience Insights tool and I'm going to show you how to find passionate audiences using this tool, because once you find a passionate audience, then it becomes a lot easier to find a product that fits that market. Worst case scenario, if there's nothing on AliExpress or CJ Dropshipping, you can always create your own print on demand product, some sort of design that you can put on a t-shirt or whatever you choose it to be. The reason this strategy works so well too is because we're starting on the other side. So rather than focusing on the products, we're actually focusing on the audience first. So when we find that audience on Facebook, then we already have the interests in which we're targeting. So the last thing we need to do is actually find the product. So you're actually finding the audience and the interests that are passionate and actually going to work when we run our ads. So the last thing we actually need to do to find the product, which is actually the easiest thing to do. Now, before we jump into my computer, into my Facebook Ad Manager account, I just want to quickly mention, as always, I am giving away a free one-to-one consultation call with me in this video. So chance for me and you to talk one-to-one. You can ask me whatever questions you want, whether it's about your store, Facebook ads, run certain product ideas. I can help you find interests, whatever it is. If that's something you want a chance to win, all you have to do then is simply subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video and leave a comment down below. If you commented on my previous video, then just make sure you stay tuned to the end of this one where the winner will be announced. And with that being said, then let's jump straight into my computer. Here we are then, guys, inside my Ad Manager account, inside the Audience Insights tool. If you've never seen this before or used it before, then I thoroughly recommend you watch some more videos on it, do some research into it, start playing around with it and actually get to know how it works, because the amount of information it gives you is really, really valuable. So anyway, bearing in mind then what I said in the beginning of the video, the whole idea here is to find passionate audiences, and this is what I'm going to show you what to do, because once you have a passionate audience, then it becomes a whole lot easier to find a product that people will be passionate about. So to give you an example then, if we just put kitchen in here, say you're in the kitchen niche, I'm going to go through probably 2 or 3 random niches in this video, just to give you multiple examples. So I've put kitchen in here as an interest. All the demographics, everything is just standard as broad. And to give you an idea then of what a passionate audience doesn't look like, would be this here. So if you were to pick kitchen solely as an interest, these are the top categories and top page likes in which people within the kitchen interest also are related to. So for example, if you were to pick this as an interest to target, then the audience within this interest, these are the top categories in which they're related to, and these are the top pages in which they like. So essentially, to find a passionate audience, you need to pick an interest where the majority of the other pages in which the people in that are related to are also related to the niche you're targeting, if that makes sense. Any questions on any of this, by the way, make sure you leave a question below in the comment section. I always get back to every single person. So this is an example then of an audience or an interest that isn't solely passionate about one subject. And the way that I know that then is that if we just open up, let's just try the first, say, 5 pages of these. So I'm just opening these up into another tab. 4, and then 5. If it was a passionate audience, then the majority of these top categories and the majority of these top likes would be related to kitchens, would be related to the kitchen niche. And if they are, then that tells me that the majority of the people within this kitchen interest are really interested in kitchens, because the majority of the interests related to it is also kitchens, if that makes sense. But if we just have a look at the top few pages, then we have kitchen fun with my 3 sons, which is kind of relatable. In fact, it's about looks like certain different recipes and stuff, which is a good sign. That's pretty decent. If we look at the engagement as well, there's a ton of engagement on that post, pretty decent on that post as well. So this is actually a good page, potentially one we could delve deeper into solely. If we have a look at the next page, then you can see this is nothing to do with kitchens whatsoever. It looks like some sort of clothing company, so that's not a good sign. If we have a look at this one, then it's kind of like the same thing, another clothing or apparel company. If we have a look at this next one, this looks more like it, more kind of related. There's something about cleaning, but the majority of the posts seem to be about cooking, which is a pretty good sign. And then recipes from home, and again, it's about cooking. So 3 out of 5 isn't too bad. If we go back and just look at a few more, just to double check, because in theory we want the majority of these to be about actually kitchens, like related to kitchens, because then that tells you that people inside are passionate about kitchens, because they're not like or related to other things. And another thing you need to double check it against as well. In fact, let's stick on the top categories. If you open this up to see all, and even as far down as you go, it's still related to kitchens, and that is a really strong sign. The further down you go, it's kind of like the least related top categories. So basically what that means is that, say if you got down to number 27, so media, news and company, and these are still pages related to kitchens, and that is a really good strong sign. Another thing you always need to double check as well before you actually decide on a certain interest is the page like section and the affinity scores, because essentially the higher the affinity score, the better. So the more relevant that certain page is within the interest you've selected up here. So hopefully that makes sense. So with a 37 affinity score, that's actually quite low. So what that tells me is that a small percentage of people within this base interest, so within the kitchen interest, actually like this page. And then because obviously that's the highest, and it's the same with all of these. So what that tells me is that within this niche, because it's so large, we can double check that 35 to 40 million people, there's going to be a crazy wide range of people within there. So in order to test that interest significantly, you'd have to spend a ton of money to essentially test a high enough percentage of it. A better thing would be to take one of these page likes, so for example then kitchen crafty fun. You want to make sure that you always open up these pages to see what they actually are, and actually double check the content. And what you're looking for then is content that's relatable to the niche, because that tells you that the page is related to the niche, and if it's got a lot of engagement on its posts, so for example then 62 million views, which is just absolutely ridiculous. In fact, they must be boosting that, running ads to it. So 688 shares, obviously to do with the 4th of July. It's going to get some good engagement. Make sure you go through the posts, and what you're looking for then is kind of like the average engagement rate on their posts, because a page that gets good engagement obviously has a passionate audience, which would potentially make it a good interest to target. So the engagement is actually very good. So I'm just going to go back to my audience insights tool then, see if we can actually tag this solely on its own. So kitchen crafty fun, let's get rid of this one. Kitchen craft, I don't think we can actually. So we can't, so let's go back to the kitchen niche and try and find a page in which we can actually target. So kitchen fun with my 3 sons. Let's try this one. Here we go. So kitchens with 3 sons. Make sure you get rid of the original one. And now what I'm guessing is that, let's just close this down a bit, see the top 10, is that when we have a look at the top 10 categories now, immediately a lot more of these are kind of like relatable to the kitchen niche. If we have a look at the affinity scores, the affinity scores are a lot higher, so that tells me then that there's a higher percentage of people within that audience that like these certain pages, which is a good thing as long as these pages are actually related to the kitchen niche. Another reason why this is so powerful as well is because if you find a passionate audience, then you don't have to find a best-selling product. You don't have to find a product that always has those proven results, because if it's a passionate enough audience and it's a decent product in itself, then they're going to buy it. So you can also use this newest tab as well and actually try and find products that are new to market. So I've never actually seen this before. So within the baking niche, this could actually be a potential product worth testing, because if you can be one of the first people on Facebook to bring certain products to the market, then it's just a recipe for making a lot of money. So to give you another quick example, then if we go back to audience insights, I don't want to be talking for too long. I think I've been talking for over 10 minutes already. I could go on for this about hours and hours and hours. If you want me to do like another part on this, like a part 3, because this kind of like builds on the previous video I did. If you want to do a part 3, then just make sure you comment like part 3 down below or something like this. So let's give you another example then. If we just put dogs in here, it's a classic example, but it makes such a good one because some people are so passionate about their dogs. If we have a look at the page likes and top categories, we can see that yeah, that's probably related to dogs. No. So as you can see, that the dogs interest contains a lot of people, but not the majority of them aren't related to dogs, because these top categories aren't, if that makes sense. The same with the page likes as well. Look at the affinity scores, they're really low, so that's a bad sign. Whereas if we go for a sub niche within dogs, let's just go for a certain breed, for example. Then if we go for German Shepherd, and just have a look at these top categories now, so we can see that Animal, PetSmart, Petco, that I think every single one of these, in fact I don't think that is, that isn't either, but the majority, or that's probably not either, but the majority of these are related to dogs. So we could even delve bit deeper into that. You can see the affinity scores are pretty high too, which is a good sign. So what you would do now is go across to AliExpress, and instead of just putting dogs in, you would just put German Shepherd in. Click search, and that way you're finding products specifically related to an audience that you know is already passionate, and immediately you can see products purely related to German Shepherds, and a lot of these products would do very well because they're targeting a very specific audience that is really passionate. So somebody who owns a German Shepherd, so for example, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen the picture I posted today of a top about, in fact I'll put a screenshot on the screen now, because we own a German Shepherd. She found it and she just had to buy it straight away because it was solely related to what she's passionate about. So it's all about finding those products that a specific audience is passionate about. And with that being said then guys, I think we've been talking for nearly 15 minutes now, so I'm going to call it there on this video. If you want me to go a bit deeper and just expand on what I've spoken about, then make sure to leave a comment down below, just put part 3 or something like that in. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do make sure you leave a like, and just to help this channel grow. We're fast approaching 7,000 subs, which is all thanks to you guys, so thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. And with that being said, if you want a chance to win a one-to-one call with me as well, make sure you leave a comment down below, and let's get into announcing the winner of the previous one. So this is my previous video then. If you haven't seen it yet, please do go and check it out. It made quite an interesting story if you're new to the channel, so please do go and watch it. Please do make sure you subscribe. Anyway, we're here to announce the winner. I'm just going to take the URL, head over to our random comment picker. So these competitions are 100% random, so please don't ask me to pick you. And the winner of the previous video then is Mayank. So thank you very much for your comment. Make sure you reach out on Instagram, we can get that call arranged. And guys, if you just want to get straight down to business and book a call right away, you can actually do so. Just make sure you check out the links below this video. And with that being said then guys, thanks again for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.